to help stimulate the mental. Time to strategize, huddle up, where's your circle? I can feel the movement radiate through the convo. Talk is cheap, turn your faith into work. I drink my second cup and put my hands in the dirt. 2 cups, drinking straight drip from the earth. Caffeinated conversations, you heard them here first. One for the wake up. One for the wake up. Two for the work. Caffeinated conversations, you heard them here first. Welcome back to 2 Cups Café, where I'm your host, Alan C. Jackson, and who I have coming through for a high-quality caffeinated conversation today is none other than Corvez Braswell. How you doing, my brother?
Okay, and yourself?
I'm doing well, man. I just appreciate you coming out, man, having a conversation with me today, man. I had an opportunity to get to meet you. We both in the same caregiver space, man. If you don't mind just giving my viewers and listeners a little background on yourself.
My name's Corvez Braswell. I'm 48 years old. I currently work for Skyfall Residential Home under my cousin, Antonisha Fagan. I've been open since December 23rd, 2022.
Okay.
My cousin came up with the idea. She's running a girls group home.
Okay.
And she just came to me one day, say, man, look, man, I think you'll be good doing a boys group home. What you think? We had a few conversations over breakfast, and she gave me the play and told me what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And every task that she told me that I needed to do to in order to open up, every time I complete something, I bring it to her, and we just knocked it out like that.
So what was the initial, like when she came to you, said she thought you'd be good at doing it? Like what initially resonated within you that was like, you know what, I want to give it a try?
I got nephews and I got kids myself. So when she initially seen it, just the father that I am, and how I raised my kids, and how I raised my nephews, and their friends who come to me for advice, or everybody call me like all my nephew friends, and just that in general, just things that I stood for, helping kids and everything.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you came up in the city, man. Like I know when I started doing caring for young men, it was just so easy for me as a transition because I saw like my friends like in the same kids that, I was trying to help, or I saw myself a lot of times. Like how did that resonate with you when you came up? Because we about the same age, so you came up in late 80s, early 90s.
Yes. I guess pretty much the same, like I told you before, I used to gang bang. And when I was 19, I became Muslim. And so at that point, my life changed because it wasn't religion, it's more of a way of life, and, sculpture me to be the man that I am now. So a lot of things that I learned along the way, and how to carry myself as a man, and these things that I passed down with my sons, my nephews, and any men or young men that was around me. I pretty much installed them same values in them.
Okay. How'd you get? You say you was 19. How'd you get introduced to your faith?
One of my friends, D'Angelo Gott, rest in peace, Booby. He was in this program called Youth Build.
Yeah, Youth Build. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, he was in Youth Build, and Mr. Alameen was the teacher over there.
Okay.
And so, we went. He was like, "Hey, man, one of my teachers is a Muslim guy, man. He want me to come to one of their Friday prayers."
Okay.
So I'm like, "All right, I'll roll with you." So we went one Friday prayer. Like, cool. It was like, "Oh, we're gonna go back next week." I'm like, "All right, cool." So the next week we went. We did this for like 3 weeks in a row. And my cousin, he is Muslim.
Okay.
And I was telling him, I said, "Man, I went to your little Muslim thing, man. It's pretty cool." So he was like, "Oh, you ain't come to ours." I was like, "Yeah, I went over here." He was like, "No, we out here."
Mm-hmm.
So I end up going out there to their thing, my partner, he went back to the streets, doing him. So it was like, but I was interested in it. So I started hanging out with my cousin, and one a mentor of mine, Mustafa Rahimullah, he passed away. But I go with them to the prayer, and just hanging out with them, and Mustafa Rahimullah, he took me under his wing. As we'll be doing a little odd jobs, cutting grass, fixing on houses, painting, whatever it was to make a legal lifestyle,
make an honest dollar.
Honest dollar. Yeah, we was doing it. So and so when I became Muslim, I was with this guy. It was like a big brother, father figure. You know what I'm saying? He took me up under his wing, and it was like all the bad things that I was doing. It's kind of hard to do these things because this brother was coming to get me at K.C. in the morning and dropping me off at K.C. at night. So it was like, man, so I couldn't transition, or backslide back into the streets because, he kept me right up under his wing. And, and it was like something that I enjoyed doing, so, and, as I got to growing in the religion, it's like, man, it was like, it's not just like a religion, it's like a way of life, you know what I'm saying? Everything from the way that you use the bathroom, the way that you pray, everything. So it's like a lifestyle.
That's powerful, man. I say that from the standpoint of, being young and the curiosity, but then the curiosity brought you to the discipline, and then having a male, and then it made so much sense, like from the work that you're doing now, like if somebody spend enough time together and have on some structure, some discipline, like you say, something legal to do, like your heart is gonna get soft to the point to where you'll begin to being able to see that there is another way outside of the negativity, man.
And don't get me wrong, we still get caught up in, the negativity, but it's more of a conscious now. It's like, man, I'm doing this, but man, I'm tripping. What I'm saying? It's like, man, I'm tripping, because now, it's like how people know right from wrong. And just being brought up in the inner city, always the wrong way was always the right way for us. And the right way was always the wrong way because the right way, we got there, but it took us a little bit longer to get there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's powerful, man, because I didn't even know we had similar backstories even in that, because, the negativity and things I got involved in, mine was different. I had became a Christian, but it was more so out of curiosity the same way. And then my good friend kind of walked me through, the steps and the discipline and the life. Like you said, it was a lifestyle. And I found myself if I'm doing this, I can't be doing that.
Yeah.
And that was like the same thing. So, man, that was powerful. I know you say you went to youth build. That was that was awesome. No, you say your friend, you was in youth build?
No, my friend was in youth build.
Your friend was in youth build. That was an awesome program. My boy, Dave Gans, they call him DG. He had went through youth build.
Yeah, I know Dave. He's in Atlanta, Dorica husband.
Yeah, that was my guy. Yeah. So he was talking about. He always talk about, man, when I was in youth build, man, and he wound up getting his GED, turned his life around. Man.
Yep, I remember Dave. His wife and my best friend. You might know my best friend. She's saying Atlanta also. Nicole Newsom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like my best friend. We've been friends ever since freshman year of high school.
Oh, man. Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know, speaking of Dave's wife, his her aunt, Miss Trevor Black, she got me, man, I ain't had no direction. My best friend, Gus, had passed away, my senior year. I stopped going to school for like a month. This lady checked on me. We had a class called Jobs for Ohio Graduates. And I'm trying to tell you, I barely got out of high school after that. But she stayed on me. She would call me. She would check on me. And when we graduated, she wound up turning my name in. And I was able to get a job at Jeep at like 18 years old. And that was like my first, like God had put her in my life. That was my first real positive thing. Like my mom was like, son, please don't mess that job.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of stuff. I was like, I worked second shift, so it was okay. But I was like, I gotta get to work by 4:00, no matter what I'm doing or what I did when I got off work.
Mhm.
I just held on to that, man, for dear life. And I wound up meet my wife at the factory, man, and we started a family, and the rest is kind of history. But just them positive people like in your life when you're young, if you have an ear to hear, man, you're gonna hear something that's gonna put you on the right path, man. And that's beautiful. So tell me a little bit about have you always been, I know you said that everybody called you Unc and you work with kids in the neighborhood, but was there a desire to start a formal program for youth when you was before you started doing the group home?
I honestly, I would say no.
Okay.
It was nothing. It was just because everything came genuinely. You know what I'm saying? So it
Okay.
wasn't like, oh, I can do this and I can do this.
Right.
It's just like, somebody there. I just give them the game. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So it was. So when she came to me, with the opportunity, I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't think of it, how it is now. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So it was just like, just do what I do naturally.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure. For sure. I remember I started mentoring it was a program years ago called Covenant Youth Development. And my brother and my friend, they were working there, but they was like, "Hey, you want to come on with us, mentor some kids?" They was in college at the time, and I was, I was just, I was working in the factory and whatnot. So I was like, "All right," kind of like one of them things. So I would go for a couple hours, maybe 3-4 hours on a Saturday, man. And it was a court ordered juvenile program, and just spend time with the kids. Back then, we used to go hoop and run and do all type of physical activities with the kids, and that was like my first real formal introduction into doing youth work. And man, it just stuck with me. So, but I got my start actually from caring for individuals, though. Formerly with I worked with adults with developmental disabilities. I did that, man, for probably like 3 or 4 years. And I believe to this day that that's one of the things that helped me, like with my temperament and my approach with my young guys. Because if you got an adult with developmental disabilities, no matter, like, he might do something 20 times the right way, and then that 21st time he might just be like, forgot how to do it. And you can get frustrated, like, man, I just saw you do this yesterday, and why you can't do this and do that. But then I had to understand, like, what it was. Like, no, this guy might be able to do something. Sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. I had a guy every morning, you gotta tell him, remind him, you gotta wipe the milk up after you eat your bowl of cereal. Now, you would think after doing that for 6 months straight, he might get it. But if something's going on that he can't get it, then you have to be patient. So I think that helps me a lot with juveniles.
Yeah, I got a 13-year-old. I got to do that every day. Yeah. So, again, we got similar backgrounds because my mom, she has a agency for individuals with special needs.
Okay.
You know, and that's like my background too. I've been doing that for like 15 years. I
Yeah.
still work on the back end with her. I work applying for her clients and everything,
Okay.
and go on interviews with the
Yeah.
caseworkers if
Like the
need
provider
be. Yeah,
fairs and
yes.
stuff like that. Yeah, man.
So
That's awesome. So you already know, like,
yeah,
working with that population, you have to be kind and understanding,
yeah,
and that's the biggest thing. Because when we came up, it was kind of like everybody was like, you should know better, you should do this, you should do that. And then, it was like hard line, hard discipline. If you didn't do it, that's because you ain't want to do it.
hmm
But then I found out, just from learning more these days, I know it could be manipulated sometimes, but different traumas that people go through, you got to give them a little extra grace. Yeah.
yeah. Because a lot of times, like, don't know you personally, but me personally, I didn't come up in a household being abused or none of the traumas that the boys that we have in our group home go through. So
Yeah.
it's something that I couldn't relate to.
Okay.
Because like when I go out hustling, shoveling snow or cutting
Mhm.
grass or carrying groceries, pumping gas, I came home, my money was my money. My mom didn't take my money, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of these kids, they brought up on tough love, which we was brought up on tough love, but it was a different kind of tough love.
Okay. No, I see what you're saying. So we had tough love, but it was directed somewhere. They might have tough love to where it's just
It's
tough.
physical tough love.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, like when I started my own family, I had all girls. So I had 4 daughters, right? So 3 of them are adults now. I got an 11-year-old. She about to be 12. But it's so different dealing with young men than it was with my young ladies. But they made their mistakes too, and they continue to sometimes. But my approach, it was like, man, with a boy, it was just so different. But they cling to you in a different type of way, though. Like when the ones that really looking for an adult figure, and I had to watch myself because sometimes I could be tough on them because I got my first job when I was 11. I worked at a Waffle House under the table, busting tables. You know what I'm saying? So I understood like I got tough love from my grandfather. He was like, man, he sat me down, showed me all the bills, what the grocery bill was. Back then they had the little checkbook log and they had to manually write everything out. He's like, hey man, you had to get a job. I'm thinking like, man, anybody gonna hire me? I'm 11 years old. Man, my grandmother found this old guy at she was Catholic. We went to the Catholic church. I was in the Catholic grade school. She found a guy, said, my grandson need a job. Because I got my friend, we're on a restaurant. I'm thinking like, oh, this was coming together all quick. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, 11.
Set up.
Yeah. So she took me over there, man. The guy talked to me in the back room. Next thing you know, the next weekend, man, I was working. Like, I'm talking about not like, hey, little guy coming, like, no, get that table cleared or wipe it off. And they could smoke back then in the restaurant, man. It was choking
I remember
me.
them days.
All of that. So my first job, man, I was making $3.33 an hour, man. It was under the table, but the dude was so shrewd, man. He still figured the taxes out and take them from me. He still took my taxes out, like handed me the cash, like what was left over, man. I did that for like 2 years.
Yeah, my first job was Sears. I worked there in the stock room. And I can remember when I got my first check, I already had my hours calculated. This is what I'm getting. Man, I got that check and they took them taxes out, man. I cried, man. I cried. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I cried. I asked my mom, like, man, why is they taking this out? She's like, taxes, Uncle Sam. I was like, man, I don't owe him nothing. I worked for that. Man, I was pissed. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no understanding of that.
For sure. For sure. So since before the group home, I know we had spoke a little bit before. I know you had semi-trucks. You have any other entrepreneur endeavors that you did coming up?
Oh man, I done tried just about everything, man. And one thing I ain't afraid to do is bet on myself.
I heard that.
I had 3 different landscaping, not landscaping, lawn care businesses.
Okay.
I did trucking 2 times in a row.
Okay.
Had a party bus.
Yeah.
And then the group home thing, so.
Yeah, we kind of same vein, man. I remember I used to sell burritos at work, man. Back when they had burnt CDs, I used to make little movies. Man, I always wanted more than one stream of income, man. Like that's one thing about me, like even like with some of the other stuff I do, like I'm interested like in coffee and like I was complimenting you on your beard the one day. I said, man, you got your own oil? Because, I was looking to develop an oil and some other stuff.
So the one day, so not today because it looked kind of scruggy.
I was like, man, a little beard envy going on the one. Like, man, this brother beard is luscious.
But you know what though, man? And that's another thing, in Islam, the men supposed to grow their beards. So, me coming in at 19 and having facial hair, so I was like 19 with a beard, and it wasn't popular then. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you talking 95? Yeah. Dude walking around with a full beard. People looking like
right. Yeah, back then,
you know what I'm saying? So now, so now it's the end thing. Everybody got it. So
being bald and bearded is all right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. So, what type of things like you try? I know you instill work ethic into your boys. But what's type of things you like to do with them to kind of expand their minds?
Right now I got kind of a mixed group.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So right now I just get a feel for them and like some of their interests.
Okay.
Because some like to go to urban air, some don't even like to go to urban air,
Mhm.
some like to go play basketball, some don't like to play basketball. So we just last week I just had them go in there. Everybody pick letter. Had A and B. I got 6 boys now, so I had them pick A and B.
Mhm.
So I got the B group, the A group. So it's not like I put you guys together. I
Right.
ain't put you guys together. So now when we have 2 staff, you take group A, you take group B.
Yeah.
And just do things. But it's kind of hard because you got some people, and like right now, my house, like I said, is blended. I got 3 kids, 3 boys there, and 3 of them, they got autism.
Okay.
And it's different levels of the autism, so
Yeah.
it's not the same.
So
So
there's sensories
yeah,
and all the
yeah.
different
So
things. Yeah.
but they high functioning. So
Okay.
it's not like they just sitting there staring at the wall. They
Mhm.
talk and everything. So it's like trying to find things that catch their interest.
Yeah.
The common thing, everybody like the park, so we go to the park.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
We go to Dave and Buster's.
Mhm.
One I've been telling my middle son that I don't take him fishing ever since he was like 5 years old. He's
Mhm.
13, so eventually I don't have to get some fishing poles
Oh
and
yeah, you gotta go
go
fishing.
fishing.
My little brother loves fishing, man. I mean, we take some of my boys all the time, and I don't. I say this from my audience and everybody. I don't mind fishing, but I don't like taking them off the hook.
Oh,
You
hey,
know what I'm
me and you both. I gotta get gloves, everything. I can put the worm on the hook, everything.
I'll be
But
out
when
there, yeah. I'll be out there hoping I don't catch nothing.
see, I think what got me one time, I was trying to take a catfish off, and the little fin poked me, and
Yeah.
ever since then, I'm like, man, look, if they swallow the hook, I'm just clipping that boy. I ain't even fooling with it.
Yeah, so, but I think going fishing, getting the guys outdoors, because when I first started like doing group home, so I'm talking about, I started like about 12, 13 years ago. And it's been such a big shift because back then it wasn't like all the online gaming. They boys still they had a cell phone. It was the one you had to hit the button 3 times to send a letter on a text,
Yeah.
like that. So they might have had some minutes, but it wasn't the same. Now
Yeah.
these kids are so connected to the Wi-Fi or to their phone. They don't want to go outside. They want to, have their own little world right in that box. I'm like, no, you got to get out and experience life.
Yeah, and a lot of times, and I see that with my middle son, and I'm always on him. But as coming up, that's like the babysitter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Here, go play on that tablet, and you ain't even got to worry about them bothering you for 6 hours. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You realize 8 hours and went by like, oh, I ain't even fed them yet. Let me, you hungry?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the technology, it then came in, and it, kind of got everybody, like even like with me,
Mhm.
I was sitting up there, just, recently realized how bad my eyes is, man. I'm looking, trying to see stuff and can't see.
Right.
And I'm like, man, it's these dang on phones, man. Keep them up to
Mhm.
your face, man. And it's
Mhm.
messing up your eyes, man.
Yeah, but
So
I just got like these glasses, they can't, tell, but when the last time I went to the eye doctor, the lady was asked me, do you want this? Do you want that? These type of lenses. Then she was like, sir, we think, time for you to order some transitional frames. I'm thinking like, all right, that's cool. You talking about the ones you go outside and they get dark and they get light. She was like, no, you need a slight bifocal. And I'm like, nah, I can see it.
Yeah.
But then she showed me, and I was like, I just went ahead, broke down, and did it, man. And now I could tell when I don't use them, man.
man, one of the funniest things ever, man. I remember I had got this Lego thing for my son for his
Mhm.
Xbox.
Okay.
And I'm sitting up there trying to put it together, and I'm sitting up there with the box, and I'm so used to technology. I'm trying to read, and I couldn't see it, and I did this with the box, try to enlarge the box. I said, what
the
the hell?
cardboard.
I said, what the hell?
He trying to make
Yeah.
it bigger. Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. So So it's 2 Cups Cafe, man. Like I came up with 2 cups because like I just noticed like I started using it as a philosophy for life. Like the first cup, like what wakes you up in the morning? What's inspiring you? Like what's getting your juices going? Like when I was younger, I used to just wake up and work, just get to work. I didn't have that time of just reflection. I know you a man of faith, so you know you have your time, your prayers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But what inspires you? Like, what's waking you up in the morning? And then the second cup, by the time I get to that, that's my work. Like, what steps am I taking to implement it, or what's driving me to get the job done?
I think, when like you said, man of faith. So when I wake up, first thing I do, make my prayer.
Mhm.
Like our prayer come in at 4 something in the morning. So we got certain times that we got to pray. So
Mhm.
I'm starting my day off, worshiping my Lord.
Mhm.
You know, um, I get up, and what's driving me is to have something for my kids,
Mhm.
to leave
Legacy.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
leave something behind, and and just let them see, the man that I am, and hopefully, some of me rub off on them.
Mm.
You know, it's and I don't know if I told you, I always use this thing. Say, I know, I look at life like basketball
Okay.
or football. You know, I know I'm past halftime. The
Mhm.
halftime bell and ring. I don't know if I'm in the third quarter or the
Mhm.
fourth quarter.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta at this point in life, you gotta make everything count.
Mm.
You gotta I tell my son all the time, like, dude, man, I'm telling you everything, man, and it's so hard for kids who have dads,
Okay.
what I'm saying, because I told him, I said, man, you don't respect
Mhm.
that you have me as a dad. I said, because I'm always there. I always
Right.
been there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take for me to die
Mm.
for you to respect that, because right now you living life, you're like, all right, my dad got me, you know what I'm saying? He
Mhm.
gonna yell, but he gonna hold me down. If I need this, he gonna be there. And it's like one of them things, man, even with the boys in the group home, when they
Mhm.
come in, you know, I sit down and I let them know exactly who I am.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't sugarcoat anything,
Mhm.
and I let them know what I expect. And me and you and had similar youth,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we and had that conversation where I can deal with somebody, having a behavior like with
Right.
my kids with the autism. I can
Mhm.
deal with that. What I can't deal with is disrespect, because I tell them, once I let another man come in my house and say what he gonna do and what he
Mhm.
ain't gonna do, at that point,
Mhm.
this is his house.
Right.
It's not my house. I know I got off track
No, no,
with
it's
you,
alright.
you know what I'm saying? But and you know, like the kids there, whether they black, whether they white,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, what I'm saying, I accept them for who they are,
Yeah.
and I try to help them individually, what it is that they're going through.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had a guy, just trying to test me and see how I can, it came through. He was a homosexual, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know if I can do that, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And it's like, I'm fighting myself, like, then I said, man, you know what? If a person need help, I got to
Yeah.
be able to help them
Yeah.
regardless of what it is. So I
That's
said,
right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna accept them, and and I'll try to help him. I
Yeah.
don't look past, his preference.
Mhm.
So when he came, I was transparent with him. I said,
Yeah.
originally I wasn't gonna accept you because of
Mhm.
your sexual preference, but
Mhm.
I said, you know what? You come here, as long as you're not forcing it on no other kids
Yeah.
here, or you're not walking around here
Advertising, yeah. Yeah.
advertising. I said, man, we don't just rock and roll.
Right.
He ended up emancipating out, and it was like no problem. Like,
Yeah.
he had, little boyfriend, like,
Mhm.
come and pick you up. All right, hey, as long as y'all ain't
Mhm.
sitting on the porch holding hands and
Mhm.
kissing and making nobody else feel uncomfortable,
Right.
then that's what it is. But
Yeah.
on the flip side, even if a boy had a girlfriend,
Mhm.
not
Same way.
sitting,
Yeah.
no sitting
Yeah.
on the porch making nobody feel
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
Same way.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I think and probably that young man, the authenticity, man, and the transparency that you gave him, man. That's all. Like you said, the respect and just being authentic, man. People gotta respect that. Like, I don't agree with the lifestyles of because the way we come,
yeah,
in our faith, we Christians, I believe in you know uh getting married before sex, and I know
yeah,
a lot of my
yeah,
young boys
yeah,
they not doing that.
yeah,
So like you said, like there's certain boundaries and parameters that we try to instill in them, and they decide to do other things. Only thing we could do is show them that unconditional love, but not to be manipulated in the long run.
yeah, and also being consistent.
Yeah,
And I tell them I'm strict, but I'm fair.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I let you know, but I'm fair. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? If it's whether it's this person or that person, whatever goes for him
Hmm.
goes for you. And when I originally started the group home, I had my son stand there with me,
Hmm.
and and I seen with the boys coming in, him not doing what he's supposed to do, and I'm like, dude, you've been around me
Hmm.
12 years at this point. You've been around me 12 years. You know what I expect and what I don't expect.
Right.
So I got to be 10 times harder on you, because the first thing they going to say, well, he let his son do this. He let
Right.
his son do that. And I'm like, man, you make my job 10 times harder,
Mm.
because I can't punish them for not cleaning their room. If your room looking like this,
Hmm.
I can't punish them if I got to tell you to jump in the shower 5 times and you not jumping in the shower. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I
I
mean,
don't
you
know what
working
that is
against me.
about young teenage boys, man. They hard for them to get in that water.
Man, I ain't had cats, man, going there and run the water and just stand outside the shower, come out drier than they did going in there. Like, come on, man. Your hair
Right.
ain't even wet.
Right. I don't know what that is,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I mean, man, I'd love to take a
Man.
shower. Oh man, this has been it's a great conversation, man. I know just talking with you, man, like I said, we recently really connected. Actually just from knowing some individuals that we both care for and just kind of collaborating and getting to know each other, man. And I just appreciate, man, you coming out and drinking some coffee with me, man, just spending some time. This is definitely not going to be the last time we sit down and break bread. I'm interested in your friend, man, that has we say get the coffee from Indonesia. Yeah, I gotta get me some of that.
Yeah. He actually he is supposed to come down here yesterday, but I got so busy and never got a chance to respond to his text.
Okay.
But you did ask. You said I don't know if we over the time.
No, we good.
No, you said you had asked also, like, where do I see it going?
Yeah.
So to answer that, eventually I want to create the group home where I'm at, to target a certain age group.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of having, kids there
8 to
without
18 years.
to where they have nothing in common. And like I was talking to you, I think we had a conversation, and one of my ideals, for me, you, anybody who got a group home, if we can, just get, if we get the age group 14 and a half to 18, at that point, they can work. So, we get it and we promote it as, a job placement group home.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We go to the little neighborhood, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, and say, hey, look, I'm Mr. Jackson, I'm Mr. Braswell. We got group homes, at-risk youth. If they come in here and fill out an application, we can let you know that we get them here to work, and and just build build a relationship with different businesses. And so now when these kids come, they're able to make them some money. And if we can get everybody working, hey, that cut down on second shift staff. You know what I'm saying?
Have about 6 hours at least.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But just give them opportunity to make their own money, and and it be a job placement. And then, even if it's like teaching financial literacy, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
And by the time they turn 18, have them, to the point to where they got a secure credit card, and they can, you know, buy their own house
Start
and, you
building
know, and,
credit,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, and different things, and just give them the game that, you know, I know growing up I didn't, you know,
For
because as
sure.
soon as I turned 18, it was like, what, I got this?
Right.
You know, swipe, you know what I'm
Man,
saying?
listen,
You
let
know?
me tell you, it's real funny. I'm gonna let you get back to it, but real funny. My first time, man, I applied for a credit card at Radio Shack.
hmm
They gave me $750.
hmm
I spent it all that day and never opened the envelope when the bill came, like it was just gonna go away or something. Like I got them. Man, them guys garnished my check, man. About 2
Man.
years later, I got their money and about
Right.
double it.
Hey man, look, hey, it be like that, because you know, once somebody say, hey, you can have this, you like, all right, shoot, I'll figure it out later. You know what I'm saying? And it's the hardest thing in the world to do is give up some money that you already spent, and you know what I'm saying? And, man,
Yep, because I know that's interesting, like the financial literacy. I didn't have it. All I wanted to know when I was 18, 19, when I had a decent job was, like, what's the payment? I ain't asked about the interest rate. I didn't ask about, I always wondered, like, when I first started getting cars, they'd bring me out like 3 of them, like, you could have one of these. I was just like, okay. But I didn't realize, like, man, I was paying more for them used cars than somebody else driving a brand new car with decent credit, man. It was crazy.
hey, look, I remember at one point, man, I was working 3 jobs,
Mm.
3 jobs, and credit was shot. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's like that's a hurtful feeling, man, to go somewhere and you try to get something. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I was able to get was a library card. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody was messing with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, look, I got 3 jobs. I got 3.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
cuz I got
man.
checks
You know,
stub.
man. It wasn't, and and I can remember going to the car lot, and they, like you said, they taking me and showing me what I can get. You know what I'm saying?
Not what you want.
Not what I want.
Right.
So once on credit got up there, and I went to that car lot, it was a whole different ball game. You know, I'm walking
Hey,
around with my
chest out.
chest out, like, man, you know,
Don't show me no white cars.
Hey man, look, when I started my trucking business,
Mhm.
I went and got a dually from Dodge place.
So like a 350,
Yeah, like
Okay.
yup, Dodge 350. I mean 3500.
3500.
And
Okay.
I did the car hauler, so that was going well for me. So I'm like, when I went in there, they like, all right, they gave me this, and it was like, you get 3 free oil changes, and you know, I'm like, all right, cool. So the next time, like, business was booming, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to give me a 5500, so that way I can get a 5-car hauler.
Yeah.
So I go get the 5500. So I go in there, and dude, he was like, I was like, we doing all the paperwork and everything. So I'm like, oh, you ain't say nothing about the free oil changes. He was like, oh no, this more commercial.
Okay.
So they don't do the oil. I said, huh? He was like, no, we don't do. I said, man, tell them I want the 3 oil changes.
Yeah.
It's like, I ain't gonna do it. I said, well, look, I ain't gonna sign that. I'll walk away.
Right.
If you don't give me my 3 oil changes,
Right.
I'm walking away. So he like, I said, man, all right, well, I'm cool. He come back, they give me the 3 oil changes. Never even used them. Never even used them. But it was just like, you know, hey man,
leverage.
hey man,
The credit is leverage, man.
Man, hey, when you can just sign and sign and go, man, that's a beautiful thing.
For sure, man. I would say we in the same city, man. We can sit down and talk about those job work opportunities and the business owners. I don't know. Maybe you might have to get us a food truck or something, or you know, I got some other things that guys could do. Sometimes we may have to create some businesses and put some people in place that we might not run them, but put some good people in place that they might need some help getting something started. Now they got a work crew and a little bit of extra help, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, because like I said, just with these cats, man, you know, just like you said that you was working since you was 11. I was working ever since PIC would let you work.
PIC,
I was working for PIC, and you know, like I said, man, I got a good mom to where she allowed me to have my money for me. So that being said, when I was working my PIC jobs, I was saving my money and I was going to buy my own school clothes.
Yeah.
I remember one time we went, me and my friend Ed, his mom, they took us to Detroit. So I got all my money, and I'm just going. This when IOU and all that was out. So I'm going to get these color jeans. This, like, man, when I get home, man, I ain't tried on nothing. I just like the color, man. So,
So you learn a lesson.
yeah,
huh?
definitely.
Oh man, that's powerful. But shoot, man, I'm gonna hold you too long, man. But we can definitely be building offline, man. And I'd like to just say, I like to, once again, I appreciate you coming.
For sure.
I like to talk with people that's about doing something. It's easy to point out the problems, but what can we do to take, whatever little steps we can, to help change our community and change the, people's lives we deal with. So, before I sign out of here, man, anything you want to say in the last words?
Oh, man, just keep doing what we doing, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Like, subscribe, share the page. I'm always looking for new subscribers, and also available everywhere that podcasts are available for the audio. Until next time, it's your man, 2 Cups.